Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see you on this Sunday afternoon, the 21st of January. So my name is Clarke Weatherspoon. I'm the Dean of Equity and Inclusion at the Urban School of San Francisco. I'm also a parishioner here at Grace Cathedral. And this afternoon is the second of 3 sessions that are connected to this theme, the urgency of now. The series is put together in cooperation between Grace Cathedral and the Northern California Martin Luther King Jr. Foundation. This is a really great opportunity to participate with scholars from all over the country talking about the impact of Dr. King in the past, but also in the future. And today's session deals with the work of youth across the Bay Area, which I think is a really exciting opportunity. Myself, as a school teacher, to be able to talk to youth every day, I think for us, we often thinking about the urgency of now, because the now is always moving forward. The youth that we have will be the ones who make the key decisions to transform the society that we live in. The other organization that is a part of today's forum is the New Lights Film Project, which is a competitive film program that spotlights the work of high school filmmakers. We will be looking today at 5 short films that were made and judged by noted filmmakers, scriptwriters, and award-winning media critics for a chance to be screened at the Liberation Film Festival in San Francisco this month. The participants were asked to create a film reflecting on the theme, the urgency of now, and the meaning of Dr. King's words in today's society. There were over 100 submissions this year, from which 5 winners were chosen, and we're going to be looking at those films today. We're thrilled to welcome today's guests, who will be presenting on 2 of the films. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that the phrase, the urgency of now, comes from Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech that he gave on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on August 28th, 1963, and is the speech that most people are most familiar with in their lives and education here in the United States. So before we bring up our filmmakers, we will screen the films. Once again, thanks so much for coming, and we look forward to seeing you during the dialogue to follow. Okay. Can we have another round of applause for our student filmmakers? And actually, can we have the students come on up? We'll do some introductions. Come join me up on the stage. We'll have a conversation. So we're bringing up Ali Badane. She is the maker of the film White Privilege. And then
I'm Ali.
This is Alfonso Lopez Garcia. Helen Berhane.
Yeah.
And Jackie Zong. So please have a seat. And we're going to have a dialogue or a group conversation about your films and also about Dr. King. And like we said before, I invite you to be light, right? So I know that you're sitting here with these folks in front of you, and it may seem very formal, but this is a chance for you guys to speak a little bit to some adults and some people that are going to watch this online about the work that you all really care about. So if you could, first and foremost, just say your name again, where you go to school, what grade you're in, and also talk a little bit about why you decided to make the film that you made. So we'll start with you, Ali.
My name's Ali Badane. I go to California High School in Santa Monica, California. I made this film for a class that I'm taking called Novel Social Justice. It's based on a book called The Tortilla Curtain, which was a novel I read about a month ago. And our teacher told us we could do a choice of a project or taking a test, and I chose to make this movie. But it was actually an idea that I had, the poems that you heard during the voiceover, I wrote about halfway through reading the novel, and I knew I wanted to incorporate them into a film. So,
my name is Alfonso Lopez Garcia. I'm a senior at St. Ignatius College Prep in the Sunset District. I decided to do this film along with my teammates because we believe that why not do it? You know, it's a good chance to express how we think social justice around the community can be further developed, and you know, have other people become aware of the inequality that still exists, because despite the 21st century like progressive movements, there's still a lot more to be done, and we hope that we can be a part of that journey. I hope you guys all heard what I said. But thank you.
My name is Helen, and I go to Washington High School. I'm in 11th grade, and the reason why we made this video is because we would like to show and define what it means. And we had different diversities in our video to show what it is in everyone's opinion, to show how everyone is different in their own way and their different experiences. And it's a good way to show everyone we all are different, and we all go through things because of our color, and yeah, it's a good way to show you guys.
So my name is Jackie. I'm in Lowell High School. I'm a senior. The reason I'm doing this movie because I'm in SF Department of Environment, and this is connected to what we living in, because everyone have a equal right to access to everything, not only race, privilege, white privilege, depends on your race, you can get this kind of benefits and stuff. Also, in different areas, you need a good quality of environment and goods and resources that provide from the earth. Same as Martin Luther King. He was once studying the environment, so in his dream, he's not only want everyone's created equal. Everyone should live in an equal condition, equal good condition that we fair live in.
So Jackie, your response to the first question brings me to the second question, which is about the impact that you all see Dr. King having in your lives. So you've probably gone to school and seen a Dr. King Day assembly or video, and you maybe read some of his speeches. What are some impacts or some inspirations from his work that you could talk about? They also don't have to be quotes. I'm not saying quote Dr. King. I'm just saying when you think of him, what are some of the things that come to mind in terms of not just equality of race, but equality of environment in terms of where you live and safety and things like that?
Well, in my school, my teacher have a huge poster about Martin Luther King. So he always quoted what Martin Luther King dreamed about, what he wants for us to have. So he trying to promote our whole entire school, each student, about his dream, what he wants to be achieved, why he want to make a speech, even though he sacrificed himself to make what we have today. So he trying to tell every student about Martin Luther King, what is his goal, why he's not afraid of death, why he's doing this. So he basically spread his ideas and ideology to all our students in our schools. So the impact to me is what I have now today in America is what Martin Luther King did and earned for us. So I have equal access to schools, education. I'm not dressing formal now today because I try to bring out the looks that Martin Luther King gave me, the looks that he earned from me, what he did to have me today in here speaking with you guys.
I first learned of Martin Luther King when I was at a very young age in elementary school, and every year, as Martin Luther King Day rolled around, we'd always do a lesson on it. We'd learn a little bit more. And I didn't really understand the whole gravity of that time period when I was so young. And getting older and obviously having access to social media and the internet, I learned more than maybe I was ready to handle as I got older. And I think that Martin Luther King was one of like the first people that we saw as young kids. Like he was that icon that sort of taught us about equality and about these important issues in our nation. And I think that now is as good a time as any to talk about him and to talk about his words. I think he's really relevant right now. So.
Yeah, well, Martin Luther King has always been talked about, and besides just being a social justice advocate, he's always been an inspirer to many people. So all his works, he sacrificed everything that he had, his family, his career, and all that, just to because he had that belief for everyone, and that belief is what many of us can take from him and his history, and I hope that we can all learn from that.
And yeah, like what Ali had said, we were taught about him at a very young age, and it really taught us of like we should fight what we believe in. And he showed a lot of it, of like he never gave up, even though he had a lot of hard times. And at like my school, we don't really have like a diversity. Like we have a few like colored people, and when we hear about Martin Luther King Day, we just say, oh, happy Martin Luther King Day. We don't really like have a memorial or like have an assembly about it. And then so like I'm in this program where it's like Black Student Union, where we come together and we try to make like everyone like bring more people in, and to like show like, oh, we are not just like this, that, and like we're not just what people portray us as. So I think it's a good way of like showing people like, oh, we can do what everyone else could do. So yeah.
So Helen, you talked a little bit about changing like representation and bringing people together, building community. For the rest of you guys, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing in your school in terms of equality or justice? And what are you doing to work on that? And these actions can be big or small.
Last year, my school actually was in the news for a little while because we had a few incidences of hate speech at my school, or racist graffiti and other things happening in my school and other schools in my district. And I live in a pretty affluent area, and I'm really lucky to go to the school that I go to. And I think it was sort of a shock for a lot of the people in my school and in our area to see stuff like that happen, like so close to home. And it really inspired me to start making films about more important topics. And I'd, before that, never really ventured out into the areas of social justice, or really didn't do much more than retweet things on Twitter if I thought that they were super relevant. But I decided to take this social justice course at my school, and I became a member of the BSU and the Latinx clubs at my school, and just really did all I could to get involved and to educate myself, because I'm very privileged to live the life that I do and to have the color of my skin, and I want to make this place a world where everyone can have that privilege.
Well, in my school, we have a program called Peer Resources, which one of the courses I sign up for. This course is like trying to help all the different race of color in our school to like have their own privilege, like have their sounds in school. Everyone's sounds matters in our school. Like even though the new student like afraid to come to law, we like send them out to speak school by school, and then telling them like how our school is not actually diverse, like only like most majority of Asian like white people coming into our school. We're trying to tell like no matter what is your race, we still accept you. We are the school that who actually cares about students' feeling. Even though sometimes in our school we have some racist talk, like in the second years in our school, there were like some hate speech, like using the N word like a lot in our school, and they change it to the N to a W to a bad word. And then in my class, Pure Resources, they 100% make a lot of effort about this and trying to change it, trying to like talk about it, why this is not good happening in our school, even though it's in school or outside of schools. So we post Facebook page, we're using our website, we're using everything, social media, phone calls, emails, everything in our school to tell every student and their guardians about how this is not going well in our society. We have to change this. We have to start from student. Like, if the student behave not good, they're gonna impact the future of our school. So the student base is the 100% important when they become an adult. What they learn in their teenage, what they learn in school affect who they are in the future. So our school having a lot of programs and talking about the social justice happening around us in school or our schools.
Like what Jackie said, I'm in a BSU club, and what we do is like we have people to like be heard, because everyone should be heard, and obviously we don't really have like, as Jackie school, we don't have a diverse, like we don't have, it's more Asians and whites, and I feel like what like we need is like for us to, like in our school we have the BSU for us to like stand up so we can be heard, but like it's been a struggle because not a lot of people like join because it's not really out there, but I feel like it could if we had like more people, because it's not just for like colored people, like any race can join. And so I feel like if we were to like work together and like had assemblies about it, it can really like work out. And yeah.
Well, at our school, we always try to inform everybody about the cultures and the aspects of every ethnicity and every like person at school. So we don't want anybody to be offended. And one of the goals of my school is to always inform everyone. And we have clubs such as BSU, ALAS, and Alpaca, and those are all like minority group school clubs. And the goal is to just have everyone feel comfortable at school and not feel that they're being marginalized or that they're going to be perhaps offended or bullied. And I wish I could, well, I try to be a part of the people that inform everyone and try to let the school and the community know that that we all want to have a safe environment where we can all learn and put education above our differences.
So are there students or teachers at the schools that you attend who you feel are very good at bringing people together? And what are the things that either your peers or your teachers do that inspire you to get involved in media? Because we're going to turn to your films a little more closely after this question, but it'd be good if you could maybe shout someone out and talk a little bit about things that they're doing to make the school a better place to be.
I'm going to start with that. Well, at my school, it's like almost every teacher and director or principal can be a part of that, even especially our student body. But as for teachers, I think she's an AP Stat teacher, but she's also our Majis leader, which is kind of like the minority, like director, Ms. Maricel Hernandez. She does a really good job of bringing us together, getting meetings, and bringing outside guests, such as last Friday or a week ago. She brought in a couple of rappers to talk about their experiences, and some of them how they were mistreated or how they've been targeted for their skin color, and at the same time, Mr. White, he's the head of BSU, and he does he coordinates activities for the whole school to see how no one is different. Well, everyone's different, but in a way that brings everyone together in harmony.
My novel teacher, Miss E, she's probably like one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. She actually does an amazing job of bringing relevant issues into our classroom and teaching us about equality and getting her students really interested in all of the issues we discuss. And especially after all the incidences that we had at my school last year, our principal's also done an amazing job of giving our student body outlets and providing us with new resources to make us feel safe. And I go to a really big school, so it's hard to shout out like every teacher that's ever helped me, but I'm also in my school's leadership program, and my leadership teacher, Miss McFerrin, also does an amazing job of that too. So I think that that's a lot of the reason I'm here today is because of them.
I would say my history teacher, because he's the one who started BSU, and he was asking me to join, but I didn't want to at first, but like he really convinced me, and like because I had like a lot of things happening, and then he was convincing me to join, and then I finally joined. And yeah, he was like telling me like, oh, we need more people, and he was like, you're someone like that I can see that can be a leader of this program, and like with a few other students. And he really like tries his best to bring in more students after like, and he's like been to a lot of meetings, and he really got us like all together, even though like it was hard for him to convince me, but he still did it. And I feel like that's a great person who like fights for what they want and makes sure like they get what they want. So yeah, I feel like he's outstanding out there.
Well, to me, I have a lot of teachers that I want to thank, like especially our principal, Mr. Ishibashi. He's like always born to the people of color. Like he's friendly to everyone in our school. He hear our voices making changes. He accept calls from guardians, like listen what they trying to know, like to make the school a better place. And also Mr. David Herford is a teacher who actually posts a big poster of Martin Luther King on the wall, and then keep talking about how his I have a dream speech effect on the student around us. And then the other teacher already shown in the film, so I'll skip those. Especially Miss Lowe, she's a teacher of mine. She's an English teacher, but she has passed away because like she have too much stress because guardian keep complaining she's a Chinese teacher that she can't teach English, but she created who I am right here. She make my score, like he rise up my score, my skills, everything in English. She make the future of mine like became a better road, a easier road to walk. So thank you, Miss Lowe, even though you're not here. And also some people outside of school, I think Sunshine, she's encouraging me to doing this video. She gave me a lot of debrief about how Martin Luther King and about the environment, like not just only the race is a problem, also the fair environment we should have right here, like we're living in, have to be fair too. No matter who you are, where you're in, you still have to need a fair treatment.
Great. Thank you. So You guys are all doing great work in your schools, and you're also teenagers, right? And there's a lot of teenagers out there who maybe are not thinking about social justice. Maybe they're thinking about other things. So what do you do to get kids in your high school to care about this when they may be caring about other things?
I mean, I definitely use my movies as an outlet for promoting stuff like that. I mean, this film that I showed you guys today, I promoted it on Twitter and showed it to all my friends, and I think that I try and use my film as an outlet for speaking up and saying what I think is important, because it's what I like to do. So.
Well, in our school, I still have peer resources that working about race. So especially my movie, she really wants a copy of my movie, but I haven't sent it to her. I'm sorry. The point is, like, peer resources, like, there are a lot of work already in our school. Not just in our school. There's a lot of peer resources around the San Francisco area. In Sodas, like different high school, they still have peer resources. In class time, they're always talking about how they're going to improve the school to a better place, like less racist, and like people are diverse, like talkable with each other. So they have a lot of surveys in our school, and at the end, they're going to combine to a thing, making a new progress, like try the new progress, make a prototype of it, and then making changes in our school, like put it on the magazine, like school magazine, talking about like why race is a strong problem happen, because our lower high school is kind of high rate of suicides, to be honest. In the suicide rate, they definitely included homework first priority, and then the second one is race, the tension in their life. They're like competing in our school, like you Chinese or you any race, like you're not white, then your grade gonna be like so low. My grade is always higher than you, so I'm holding the A paper in front of your face. So this kind of competition in our school is like strongly against our heart, like hurting our heart, like how making people like people of color like looking down on themselves. So peer resources trying to work hard for this kind of situation, trying to let people like be self-confident. They have people to talk with when you're like in this kind of situation. So peer resources is kind of good. Course for all the students to join to know about the social injustice happening around still.
What my school is doing is that they would show videos in assemblies, but I feel like they hear it, but like you can't really tell somebody to not do this, and like they would listen. Like I feel like, yeah, we show the videos, but I don't know if like they're helping, because like you can just watch it and then it will just go out the other ear. And but for my school, we have like videos of like people's experience and like what they've gone through, and I feel like it's more heart like feeling, and like people would like see, and I feel like that like and then people like would see how like people's experience are, and like they don't feel like, I don't want to say bad, but like sympathy or empathy, because like once they watch those, they'd be like, wow, like I never like thought of that, because you can just like see a documentary and be like oh, I knew this already, like that's something, but you don't know like what's going on in everyone's life, and like how colored people are like betrayed, and like I feel like it was it's good that we show videos like that. So
Sometimes after class, when we have just finished watching or are watching, like for example, an MLK documentary or some social justice type of video or a conversation, I try to chime in my my ideas and my opinions and what I think about it, just so that if my classmates can hear it from me, perhaps they can get more engaged and learn more about it and in a fun way. And So just try to hold a conversation with my classmates in class or in talks after school that the school may hold, which we occasionally do in like our theaters or in classrooms or somewhere.
Can you talk a little bit about the power of media? So I'm going to assume that you all use social media on some level.
No, not at all.
None. So could you talk a little bit about the power of media, since you all are filmmakers and creators of media? So can you talk about, for you, like what's the power of media for people in your generation?
Well, in media, it's like when you post something, it's like there forever. You can't take it down. Like someone is gonna get it, or someone's gonna see it. Like even if you try like to delete it, someone else is gonna have it. It's just there for pretty much the rest of your life. And so for media, it's like a big part of like, I guess the teenage years, or like our generation. It's a big part, and I feel like whatever we post, it's like always gonna be public. Even if you're like private on something, it's always gonna be public. And for us, it's like an addiction. Like I feel like for teenagers, it's hard for us to like not have media in our lives, because like that's where we come in contact with people, or that's where we just find out about things and like see what's happening around the world. That's like, instead of us going out in the world, that's where we just, sit home and already know what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that social media is a big focal point of the lives of my whole generation, and everyone's really concerned with like their image and what other people think of them and how other people see them. But I think it's also an outlet for us. It really it helps you. It's a way for us to voice our own opinion, especially when you feel like you may or may not have one. I think, especially over the last year, every year I feel like social media changes a little bit, and over the last year, Twitter, for example, has turned into a place where I go to learn about stuff, which kind of sounds ridiculous, but I feel like every time I go on my timeline, I see stupid stuff, but I also see stuff that really resonates with me, and I feel like I learn something new a lot of the time. And I think it's a really powerful outlet for my generation to have.
Well, in our generation, it's like phones, Instagram, everything, social media is like very popular. Even I saw a little girl like maybe 9 is holding an iPhone 10 is watching YouTube, and she's watching YouTube. Like if we post this kind of video online, when people are spreading the news around it, almost everybody knows it. Like if it's remarkable in your heart, you will remember it. You want to let your friends know. When your friends know it, they're gonna know the meaning behind it. Like they're gonna make some changes about it, and then keep spreading the idea and going. Just like Martin Luther King. In the old time, they don't have actually a thing called internet, YouTube, because of his speech is like recorded, so he's rememberable. So he's like remarkable in our heart. What is his speech about? What is his dream about? So in this generation, if we have to make something big in internet, in YouTube, like make a video about something very remarkable in their heart, they're going to remember it, and then they're going to make changes about it. So just like Martin Luther King's dream going to become true soon.
Right. Well, yeah, social media is can be really positive or really negative. It's harmful at sometimes, and other times it helps the community. Nowadays, it's become a way that in like 10 seconds we can have a vast array of information that before it would take days, or it'd take a long time to have. And but looking at the positive, it's allowed for a lot of people who would usually not have a voice to to speak about what they think and share their ideas. Like nowadays, I've seen there's common people that have a powerful impact on the lives of many, and athletes now use it as a platform to share their opinions. But at the same time, it's been harmful. You can know what someone from the White House thinks at 12 in the morning. But hopefully there will always be the positive parts of the social media aspect that can overshadow the negative effects of it.
Great. So one of the last questions that I have for you all, Jackie, you just kind of brought this into my head, but is there something big that each of you would like to do? So you're sitting on the stage, you are award-winning filmmakers in high school. Are there things when you think about, the way that America is now, are there some big projects or some big changes that you would like to be involved in? And if so, maybe what are they? Can you give us a taste of what's to come?
Well, I don't have anything big for now, because this video just started up. I'm trying to get this video to my peer resources teacher first. Let's see the effects for it. I know it's still not the best still, but I'm still trying to improve from the video, trying to gather more information. For example, like something in social, something in environment, something I can learn from my Department of Environment, San Francisco Environment, and then gather more information from them, like trying to combine with the whole thing, and then trying to see if I can give this idea passing along to peer resources, combine all the peer resources, all the cultural group together, let them like combine, become a huge group to make a video or something, a big project that can promote like how letting all people know how social justice is actually define the social justice meaning. Let them the new generation of the life notice about this kind of problem when they are young, and then when they grow up, they can know this problem is still happening and making the changes for the world to be a better place.
I don't know if any of you guys watched the Golden Globes a couple weeks ago, but I want to go and be a filmmaker. And obviously, as a female, it's proven to be kind of a challenging feat, but it's something I've known I've wanted to do since I was 10 years old. And I think that after the past few years, I've known that I want to make movies about important things. I don't want to just make little things that don't matter. I want to talk about important issues and the issues that people don't really want to discuss. And I think a big challenge for me, or a big goal of mine, would be to like eventually win an Oscar or something like that. But
There we go.
yeah, but I really want to get involved in that industry, and it's a big goal of mine.
Well, this is perhaps a really big dream, but in the last couple of months, I've always thought, wow, I could be president. Being one of the most powerful people on the planet, that could have a major impact. And it's not my ego speaking. It's it's my hopeful, good intentions. Because oftentimes, when you see something perhaps negative in a position of power, you want to become someone that can offset it now or in the future. And I hope that if I can become someone with who can have a big say in political events or political agendas or any sort of aspect like that, I hope I can change it. And just becoming Senate or something, that's still a big step, I guess. And that could be really impactful. And hopefully I'll get your vote one day. But yeah, thank you.
I'm in this one project. It's like we didn't start yet, but we have an idea where we will go to different neighborhoods and ask how it is to live around here, and like see how different like it is to live around the neighborhoods, because There is obviously like different diversity in each neighborhood, and there's some parts of neighborhoods where people don't want to go, or are just like they don't feel safe around those neighborhoods. So we would like to like see how it is, and like ask them how it is to live around here, or how do you feel safe, or is it the same as every neighborhood, or yeah.
So thank you all so much for joining us today. We have a few pieces of business before we close. Before we get to that, though, for me, I just want to say thank you so much. It's an honor to share the stage with you as an educator and someone who goes to this church. It's a really wonderful chance to see the work that you're doing. One of the questions that I didn't ask was, what is it that you would like adults to know? And I can just say that as an adult, I hope that you continue to teach us the things that you care about, and you continue to share your work in person and online and in feature film productions, or maybe from political office, so that you can lead the way, right? Because this dream is a dream that is forever evolving and needs to keep living, and it lives in you. So thank you so much for being here. I'd like to introduce Mr. Aaron Grizel, who is the Executive Director of the Northern California Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Foundation, and he's going to be awarding you all today with these plaques. So I'm going to pass it on to him.
Thank you so much, Clarke. Can we give the entire team here and Clarke Weatherspoon a great hand? So, the Northern California Martin Luther King Foundation started the New Lights film project to find a way to bring to light and to bear the ideas of our young people through film. And this year, what we did was we put some strictures on that. You know, as we sort of advance in age, we get a little more loquacious in our delivery. So what we did was we challenged young people to do something and create a statement within 3 minutes. And so what you saw were 5 offerings and gifts to us within 3 minutes to provide a distinct message. And we thought that being able to do that is something really special. And you saw how powerful they were. We had one sort of feature film in 2 minutes. We had an animated sort of piece in a little over 2 minutes. We had a 1 minute sort of declarative from 13 kids, I think. How that's done, I don't know, but they did it. And then we had these 3-minute statements about what it's like, questioning adults, and then bringing to bear an issue that we all have through Ali Badain's piece. And so we wanted to, each year we're going to be doing this. This is a part of the foundation's Martin Luther King celebration, which includes its Liberation Film Festival. And its Liberation Film Festival is designed to bring to bear some social and civic films, documentaries to the general public during our King event. And each year we have this New Lights film project where we're going to bring to bear a challenging notion for young people to meet and then screen those during this season. So these 5 screenings will be screening not only what you've seen today, but we have throughout the year events where we'll be screening these to allow the general public to see the gifted people that we have in our next generation. And so what we want to do each year is to award our young talent here with an official selection certificate, plaqued and framed and all of that, as their first, maybe second, maybe third award to push them forward into the future with their gifts. Is that all right? All right. So this first award is our official selection to Ali Badain's White Privilege. Ali, congratulations. So this, I'm imagining this is the first of many, given that you're going on to an Oscar-winning film. Thank you, Elle.
Thank you.
And then the team from SF Environment, would you stand, please? This is to our entire team here for Social Justice Now. Can we give them a hand? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. There's the senator, there's the budding administrator, and there is the film talent right here. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
So that's going to conclude our program for the evening. We would like to remind you to attend next week's forum at 4 p.m. And I have the topic somewhere in here, but I cannot find it. But please bring a friend, be involved. I think the conversation around the work and the legacy of Dr. King is really critical, and we're very honored and excited to host that here at Grace Cathedral this year and every year. So we look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 4 p.m. Have a great night. Take care.